All right. So, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to yet another session of Security Professional Class version 3.0. And in this class, we want to continue from where we stopped. I understand we had stopped on the common server threats. And now we want to look at the threat defense and information security development trends. I want us to go through these PowerPoint slides briefly so that we can also be able to finish the introduction to firewall PowerPoint presentation slide today. So I'm going to be kind of running at perusing through at the very first rate. So you will kindly bear with me on that note. Okay. All right. So let us move forward after setting myself. So we're saying previous courses have introduced some basic concepts and knowledge about information security and common attack types. Consider this question. What measures should we take to ensure that our company's information security is safe? Or what measures should we take to ensure enterprises' information security? So defense against security threats not only requires professional tools, but also the awareness of everyone involved in information security construction. It does not only require the professional tools, but everyone involved in the information security constructions. Upon completion of this course, you'll be able to describe the basic elements of security, threat defense, describe the importance of information security awareness in security protection, and describe the future development trends of information security. Let us look at security, threat defense. Key elements of information security protection. We all know there are people. We all know there is security operation and maintenance and management. And we all know, and we have looked at this before, that there is security products and other technologies that are available. But all these key elements work interchangeably to share the information. So these three are interconnected elements. The people, like we said previously, they're the weakest link in information security. That's why it is very important to ensure that enterprises employees have high security awareness. Remember, people are the only elements who are the closest to the data. They have access to our information. And if they're not aware of the different security trends in our company, then we have a very big problem as security engineers. Let us also look at the security operations and maintenance, as well as management. Here, we need to ensure security compliance during process operations of enterprises, implement in-time response, defense, and improvement when threats occur. And security products and technologies, security protection technologies ensure appropriate action can be implemented. Security protection technologies have different protection methods at different technical layers and domains. Okay, so information security protection methods. What are those different methods which we have? We have, when we are trying to protect our security products here and technologies, we can deploy our network security through the use of firewalls, IPS or IDS, the anti-DDoS, and etc. All other tools which you can use to ensure that our security products and technologies are implemented. Then security, system security. Here is where we look at server security. Are our servers secure? Are they configured? Do they have security patches? The same even applies to our hosts. Are they frequently upgraded and updated? Do they have antiviruses installed on them? And then also we have endpoint security. And this is under our system products technologies. We have our network security, we have our system security, endpoint security. Basically, here we're trying to secure access, to make sure you have secure access. And also we can identify people who have access to our endpoint systems. Then with application system security, this is where we look at things like the antiviruses, the vulnerability scanning, penetration testing, etc. Some of the applications we can use to ensure that we have information security protection. Part of the operations and maintenance, the O&M and management, we have security operation, emergency response, and disaster recovery. How are we going to carry out our security in our organization? In case we have an incident, how are we going to respond to that incident? And how are we going to or how are we going to recover from the incidents that has occurred? And then in security awareness, these are some of the protection methods. We now look at fostering security awareness in enterprise employees and raising awareness for social engineering. Like, people need to know that these things are taking place. Let's look at security awareness. Do you read the user agreement in detail when you register for an account? Some people can agree to, share your data with other people. And for you, just go ahead. I have read I need to use the software. You go ahead and check and agree. So here's a question. Do you really agree, or do you read the user agreement in detail when you registered for an account on any other platform? So according to a survey report on cybersecurity awareness, which was carried out in China on the internet users, it was launched by Hiko or Quiho, this company in China. And it says that about 24.1% of have a unique password for each account, and about 61.4% use different passwords. However, 13.8% use the same passwords for all accounts, which was a high security risk. I know for convenience, most of us, when you're accessing Facebook, when you're accessing Twitter, and you go to Huawei account, because your instructor has instructed you to install a Huawei account, and you also go on your LMS, and you also go on YouTube, your Google account, and you just have one password that is cutting across all the platform. So it was found out that about 17% of those million people have the same password across all platforms. That's why it is important to make the people aware of the security risks and the implication of that risk. So do you use the same password for all accounts? You will answer that by yourself. And this is what I was showing you, that about 61.4, not all user accounts use the same password, and about 13, they use the same password, and others have a unique password to each account. Do you think the current cyber environment is secure? These are questions that you should be asking yourself. When they ask the people, about 6.9% said extremely safe, about 49.1 said it is very safe, and about 32.8 said it was safe. And like the figures you're seeing on the screen, I will not spend a lot of time on that. So public Wi-Fi security awareness. You know that users face different security risk when using public Wi-Fi networks. Here you're just connecting, you don't know whose network you're connecting to. You don't know how your packets are going to be routed from your phone to the intended page which you want to access. You don't know who is in between there and how they are using your information, right? So most users browse simple web pages or even watch YouTube or listen to music, and among others. But 25.1% log into personal mailbox to send emails and also to use social media accounts for chatting, while about 13.6% do online shopping and banking. About 13.6% do online banking, and of course also chatting. This is dangerous, isn't it? So if a user accidentally connects to a phishing or a hacked public Wi-Fi, his or her operations may easily lead to account password theft or even loss of money on his or her financial accounts, because you're doing banking on an account you're not aware. Do you connect to free Wi-Fi because you want to connect to free Wi-Fi? You go ahead and click on free Wi-Fi. And connection to public Wi-Fi, we have already talked about these figures. And you do online shopping, payment, or transfer money using that free Wi-Fi which has been protected to, which has been related to you. And other similar things were connected to the public Wi-Fi. So things people do on public Wi-Fi networks, some do email chatting and others do online and banking transactions. So if you hack or if you join and go on to a funny phishing site, your information may land into the hands of the hacker and they may be able to steal your money. So security risk on Wi-Fi in public places, 80% can easily be cracked. And every year, access to public Wi-Fi networks occur an economical loss as high as, this is in Chinese money, but in billions, the e-bank theft, online account theft, and etc. Below are some examples of public Wi-Fi security risks. A hacker steals this amount of money from the person who steals the neighbor's Wi-Fi. A financial scam, unexpected. Isn't this funny? Like you are busy thinking you tapped into your neighbor's Wi-Fi and you're busy chewing their bandwidth. And then the hacker comes to you through your neighbor's Wi-Fi and they steal money from you. Isn't that funny?
Interesting.
Interesting. And then shocking, financial scam using McDonald's Wi-Fi costs some users about that amount of money. And up to date, phishing Wi-Fi in buses. There's a lot of phishing that people who connect Wi-Fi to the buses. There's a lot of phishing that is taking place abroad. Suffocating online game purchases accumulated over a number of years, stolen by hackers. Then those who intend to save money be at risk due to weak security, and hackers routinely succeed in obtaining user password information. That's why it is harmful while using these public Wi-Fi's. So let us look at social engineering. Social engineering was first appeared in 1960s as a formal discipline, right? Social engineering first appeared as a formal discipline, and that is in 1960s. Social engineering was first discussed in The Art of Deception by infamous hacker Kevin Mitnick, who authored the book following a prison term of hacking-related offenses. It refers to psychological manipulation of people to give away important personal information, which may cause great damage to the victim. This is social engineering. And this is an example of social engineering. This guy is people are the weakest link, world's most notorious hacker, as said Kevin. This guy is, when you see this guy, what comes to your mind?
The guy is stealing.
The guy is
looks
stealing.
like a thief.
He's a thief.
Guy looks like a thief.
He's trying to look like a bear.
Guy is anonymous.
Guy is anonymous. Or he's trying to look like a bear. Probably maybe to get the bear's food.
Yes.
All right. So The case study here, we have a discussion. If you find another person's SIM card, what information can you obtain, right? You can obtain the phone number, insert the card into your phone. The phone displays the SIM card number. You can also log into the online servicing center of the SIM card and obtain the first 4 and last 4 digits of the SIM card owner ID numbers. Hackers can guess the remaining digits based on their birth date and area. Obtain name of the card, personal information of the SIM card owner. And in China, the cards are embedded so well that they contain a lot of information for individuals. So if someone got a hold of that SIM card, they can be able to know all these details, when the person last logged in or what they last browsed, and of course the information about social relationship. Who did they call? Who did they talk to? Who did they send photos? Who are they to them? And how often have these guys been communicating, right? So fostering security awareness, remaining vigilant when online is effective way to defend against cyber security scams. I'm happy that in our forum, the people who always come up and say, you know what, there's this link, it looks fishy. Could you please remove that person from the group? Someone is sending some links that look to be like scam to us. So the best way is to be vigilant and to always look out for some scams. Think before you act. When you see the link, ask yourself, why is WhatsApp celebrating the anniversary? Why is someone providing me with free bank details, which I can use to get money, free money? Where did I work? So first think before you act. And also pay attention to details. Remember someone posted a message in our WhatsApp group, and instead of using the word like bank, they would use an alpha key, and it would look like it is bank, but yet they're using the alpha. I think it's alpha. I don't know what they call that character. But in your naked eye, if you have not paid attention to details, it would look and appear to be like it's bank, isn't it? So you just need to pay attention to those details, and of course be also observant. Someone will just change a little bit of details, and then you will fall prey to their bait. So think like a detective. When you're opening things, think about, why is this person sharing this link? Why are they saying I'm going to gain? What is their catch? What are they benefiting from me joining that link? And of course, be willing to learn and understand that learning is continuous, and people are always coming up with new ways of stealing your money. And then after, of course, you always have to search for the truth, try to find out from people if maybe what you're looking at is true, and you'll be good to go. So we look at some of the information security development trends. These are some of the Gartner top security technologies. Gartner is the world's first information technology research and analysis company. It is also the world's leading research and advisory company. So they came up with this thing here, and it has 10 security technologies. One of them is cloud workload protection platforms. The cloud workload protection platforms, the definition provided by Gartner is abstract and complex. In simple terms, it is a platform that protects services running on the public cloud and private cloud. The current practice is to deploy the agent or an agent at all operating systems of the service to communicate with the management console. In this way, a distributed monitoring and centralized management client server architecture is formed, allowing operations and maintenance personnel to conveniently monitor the security status of our multiple hosts at the same time and deliver handling policies. He also went ahead and talked about remote browser. He went ahead and talked about a remote browser, and they say this is a technology. The technology, the technology isolates the web page browsing sessions from endpoints. For example, the simplest way is to adopt the graphical login to remotely log into a host to browse web pages. Due to isolation of web browser by graphical logging, even if a browser is attacked, it will not harm endpoints of the users. So after the browsing is complete, that host performs a browsing task and can reset the safest state. This technology can be provided as a service and relies on virtualization technology. Enterprises lease remote browsing servers and providers maintain the browsing servers. Of course, there's also deception. They said that some of the technology that one a part of the 10 security technologies is deception. With deception, a number of fake servers are deployed in an enterprise to hear the keynote or the word we should note is fake. So you deploy a decoy or a fake server to mislead attackers to incorrectly judge the internal network topology of the enterprise, in turn increasing attack costs and also making them give up because you have fake servers on your system and attackers will attack. They think it's that topology, only to find out it was a fake server, which just ends up sending a message laughing at them. So you may somehow discourage them from continuing the attack. So if an attacker intrudes into a few fake server, an alarm will be generated and the fake server can be directly embedded into a switch. Okay, these are some of the the 10 security technologies that Gartner was talking about. So let us look at some of the remaining few technologies. We have so far looked at the cloud workload protection platforms. We have looked at deception, and I've also looked at remote browsing. Let us try now and look at endpoint detection and response.
Mr. Ssendi,
Yes, please.
sorry for the interruption.
It's okay.
I am just trying to raise some excuse here.
Okay.
For today, I'm not feeling well. I'm really very sick.
Okay.
And I will request to stop here so that I can go for medical checkup.
It's okay.
But I've tried all the assignments and I passed them.
Okay.
So hopefully I'm waiting to watch the video of this lecture so that I
Okay.
can catch up with my friends.
All right. That's okay.
Yeah, yes, apologies.
It's okay. That is noted. So endpoint detection and response. So the antivirus software deployed on endpoints is the simplest example of EDR. However, the EDR provides more functions such as identifying suspicious processes and network connections of a device through behavioral analysis. So this is what our EDR does, the endpoint detection and response. We can also look at the network traffic analysis. And with the network traffic analysis, this technology detects abnormal network data through all-round enterprise or campus traffic monitoring and big data analysis technologies. Okay, so it just looks at that and it analyzes the data and looks at the abnormal data. There is also managed detection and response. When it comes to managed detection and response, in simple terms, managed detection and response is a babysitter service for small and medium-sized enterprises that do not have security protection capabilities. Here, for example, a small and medium company accesses the network through a proxy of a security vendor, and then security vendors can analyze the company's network traffic 24/7 through the proxy, and they can always go ahead and clean up the threats in a timely manner. So in addition to these security vendors, they can also push security alerts events warnings to the company so that small and medium-sized enterprises do not need to purchase or deploy any devices themselves. We also go ahead and look at micro segmentation. With microsegmentation, the segmentation here does not refer to isolation between servers in traditional equipment rooms. It is isolation between applications. You are not segmenting just servers, but you're isolating between applications. So in a cloud era, instead of hosts, applications that provide services are usually perceived by users. Isolation is therefore evolved from the server level to the application level. And then we have cloud access. We have cloud access security brokers, the CASBS. The cloud access security brokers, this technology is used to provide cloud security. It obtains all accesses to cloud services through reverse proxy and conducts traffic security through detection and audit. Detection and audit. That's what it does. So the software defined parameters. Here, this concept is designed to resolve the problem of flexible resources access management in the cloud era. It emphasizes on replacing traditional physical devices with software, which is the same as software-defined network, or what we're calling a software-defined network. And then lastly, we look at the container security. With the container security, traditional security is oriented to hosts and provided for each host. In the cloud era, applications are containerized and the concept of a host is weakened. So container security becomes very, very important in this era. We look at the next slide, the future development trends of security. Where is our security heading to? So the previous section described Gartner's top section technologies. Now we will summarize the future development trends. So we see that of late, security as a service is growing. When you're deploying, when you're buying space in the cloud, you can opt for and get security as a service and embed it in your systems. But there's also endpoint detection is increasingly important. Then traffic control, that is IP addresses to applications layer, and then the software defined security protection solutions. Trend one, security as a service. Let us try to look at security as a service. We have our client, we have our reverse proxy, and we have our internet. So client, reserve proxy, check the service to see if everything is okay, our files anomaly, and then we have our internet. So in the future, security protection solutions may not only consist of any devices. Instead, remote security protection and analysis will be provided. Remember, today, many companies are opting for the cloud, and some of even their services are in the cloud. So users' network access traffic is directed to data centers of security vendors by proxy for analysis, filtering, and cleaning. So all customers need to do is to configure an address of a security proxy server, and then the MDR are examples of this type of security services. So moving forward, we look at a trend to the endpoint detection, increasingly important, where we are seeing file scanning, also malicious behavior monitoring, historical information tracing, abnormal behavior detection, network device interworking. So here with scanning, what we are looking at basically is to detect unknown malicious files and malicious communications. Here we locate internal endpoints infected by malicious files, and we're able to do the analysis. So in an enterprise, the antivirus software of endpoints will evolve into our EDR, the endpoint analysis, and then with a distributed monitoring and centralized analysis architecture. So this allows the enterprise to analyze processes, behavior, and context of all its hosts in a unified manner to more efficiently detect potential threats. The check capability of endpoints is increasingly being used by traditional cybersecurity vendors. In the past, endpoint security and network security were just two separate domains. Endpoint antivirus vendors only inspected files in endpoints, and network security vendors focused on the network traffic. But today, these two functions are being integrated. Due to the internet working of the endpoint security software and our network defense device, direct connection of malicious traffic to the process and files of endpoint is enabled, and threats are traced accurately. And in the future, security software in endpoint will cooperate more closely with network defense systems. So here we are just locating affected based on, our C and C attack traffic, find first infected endpoint and then end further infections. If some of these devices are infected, and maybe if they're coming from a computer, one computer which is infected. So we are integrating our endpoint detection with our network security detection. So this is some of the picture that is illustrating that, when you can as well as go and look at the picture in your free time. So trend 3, traffic control from IP addresses to applications. So with growth of microsegmentation, we said what is microsegmentation? Anyone else was in class? We said we're not, yes, application. Thank you. Here we're segmenting applications, but not necessarily our hosts or servers. So with the growth of microsegmentation and container security, the concept of host is weakened, while the concept of service is strengthened in the cloud era. Traffic management must be implemented at the application level and container level. Network topologies viewed by operations and maintenance personnel are not host topologies, but service and service client topologies. So in addition, the graphic theories and principles can be better applied to security checks to detect abnormal communication paths to the cloud data centers and potential threats in time. So here what we are doing, we are from IP addresses to applications. We have our IP address, we have our port number, we have our protocol. Remember our quintuple? Quintuple, who remembers it?
Yes.
Okay, so we have our 4 quintuple, 4-layer quintuple control. And here we're looking at those different things. And we have also our layer 7 application threat control, where we look at the location, where it's coming from, what is the threat, who is the user, what content is there. And then we are able to apply all these things to help us, segment our network according to that. Trend 4 is software-defined solutions. And there's an example of the Huawei SDSec. And here we have our analyzer part of that system. We have the controller part of our system and the enforcer. So here in our analyzer, we have a global security intelligence center. Basically here there is what we are calling detection intelligence because we are analyzing. So the AI-based auto learning and detection of threats from reactive to protective defense, proactive defense. Huawei third generation sandbox based on deep neural network algorithms. So they use the AI to be able to detect some of those threats on our network. So here with our controller, like you hear the word control, is basically to control, and that's where we have our handling intelligence. Cybersecurity collaboration, single point defense. So we are handling what we have analyzed, and network-wide associated defense security service. And lastly, we have our operations and maintenance intelligence. Basically here, service-driven policy management, of course also the manual intelligence and automated service provisions for tenants based on automatic mappings from services to policies. So all the Gartner top security technologies utilize the cloud. Cloud-based deployment of security protection solution is therefore imperative. The future of security will be based on software or software-defined security, and all check devices will evolve into software and run in containers or virtual hosts. So software-based solutions mean operations and maintenance personnel can conveniently change the methods for different application data flows. For example, some application data flows need to be checked by the WAF, and some needs to be, scanned. To do virus scanning, all the intrusion tests or checks based on the analysis of traffic and processes behavior and intelligence change can then be implemented. So we have a quiz here. Which of the following are the key elements of information security protection? We looked at those elements. Who remembers?
Let me call it A, C, and D. Hello, Mr. Ssendi.
Yes, please.
Hello, Mr. Ssendi.
Yes, I can hear
My name
you.
is
Can you
Dr.
hear me?
Kolako. The answer to question 1 is A, C, D.
Again, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, just pardon me.
I said the answer to question 1, okay, and D.
Okay, this is?
That's question 1. A, that's the security, operation and maintenance and management. Then C, security products and technologies. Then D, people. Those are the 3 elements, the key elements. Sir.
Okay. So in other words, you're saying that the answer to our question is A, which is correct. A.
C and D.
We all agree
C
this
and
is
D.
part of the answers. We also looked at security products and technology. And then lastly, the people.
C and D. Yeah.
Okay. So which of the following password settings is more secure?
Oh, should I answer it, sir? The answer
D.
to that question is D. That's digital plus letters plus special characters.
Okay. So we are saying which of the following password settings is more secure? We have digits only, we have letters only, we have digits plus letters, and we have digits, letters, and special characters.
Yes, sir. D is the answer, sir. Digital plus letters plus special character.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Summary, we have looked at the basic elements of security threats. And we have looked at the importance of information security awareness, protection, and security development trends of information, the future development trends of information security. So this brings us to the end of this PowerPoint slide. And we are going to look at the introduction to firewalls. Okay. Just before, have we all attempted the quizzes?
Oh yes, I did.
No,
Yes.
third one, I haven't.
Yes, sir.
The third one you haven't.
I have attended.
Yes, I did.